Our today's horror story comes from Monsieur Os, and it is titled I Get to Sit in the Special Boy Chair for Hours. The Special Boy Chair.
Oh
Using
no.
the waiting
What's
room.
the special boy chair? Is that like dunce chair? Is that where you go to get punished? You get put in the corner?
When you wear like a
A
hat,
dunce
a
cap?
pointy
Yeah,
hat.
the dunce cap.
Yeah, you sit over there and stare at the wall.
Stare at the wall and no talking.
Yes,
Your mic is on mute. All right, here we go. I'm sorry. I guess he's referring to the title with his first line. As the special boy chair, the one in every hotel room. I signed on with this new DM and brought my character in at the start of the session. He tells me he can either bring me in on the brink of death with no items or bring my character in after a little bit into the session. Naturally, I figure he's looking for a way to naturally introduce my character into the party without disrupting CR, so I oblige. I'm not sure what CR is.
I think
Any
that he
idea?
is referring to when they fight mobs, and he already settled everything for a party of 4 people, and he is the
Yeah.
fifth one.
So challenge rating.
Challenge rating, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't understand why it is such a big deal to not to include him. He can meet right after the session starts. What the whole deal with me being introduced on the brink of death?
I guess if he brings him in and he's almost dead, then he doesn't affect how hard the fight is because they would have to
Yes.
heal him for him to get in the fight using spell slots. So he's just trying to mitigate it. I probably just would have upped the bad guys a little bit to accommodate
Up
the
to
fifth
bad guys
player. Yeah.
because in this situation he is still going to lie down and just like skip this session then if you don't want to balance the bad guys for the
Yeah.
new guy. Just don't invite him this session because otherwise it's not going to be fun to lie down on the brink of death and being
Yeah.
healed for whatever reason. And new players, old players always tend to be very skeptical
Yeah.
against the new players.
That's
it works
true.
90%
They
of
don't
time.
want they don't want to work together at first. They distrust them. Sometimes they even attack them at first.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
here, lying over there, that most of the party can say, just keep him this way. We don't
Yeah.
care.
We don't care. Let him die. We'll loot his body too.
Does he have any special sword?
Yeah.
What's his
Yeah.
body?
First, let's let him die so we can steal all his stuff. Then we'll discuss whether we want to revive him. So I've DM'd extensively before, and this guy looks like a professional, the DM, I assume. Hand painted models, rule books galore, and television screens fill a basement and tantalize with possibilities. The party spends an hour exploring a cave, then another in a dungeon. The group faffs about with locks. What does that mean? Messes around with locks? Faffs? I don't know. I don't know that term.
This dude using some real words. First,
Yeah.
the chair in a hotel, in every hotel. What
Yeah.
is it? I have been to many hotels. I don't remotely understand what he is referring to. Chairs in every hotel.
I guess he's talking about those kind of most hotel rooms have these like old looking chairs that are not very stylish and very uncomfortable. That's the way I take
Really?
it. I don't get that, but I don't know. He's trying to be funny, but I think that joke fell a little flat.
Okay, yeah, he could tell about the school rather than a hotel room.
Yeah, I agree.
Reason.
I agree. So they're messing around with a bunch of locks, then they divide up some treasure, then they some traps, and then they clear the second part of the dungeon after another hour before we take a break. I look at him, the DM, somewhat incredulous, and he assures me that once the party has cleared out the next room, I'll be introduced. The party unearths a vampire and embarks on what is a Q&A session with long dramatic pauses in delivery that lasts 40 minutes.
Oh, this is good.
So by
Sitting over there for 40 minutes, listening how they're doing stuff and just, whenever I'm
hotel chair.
This is not the best way to introduce a new player to a party.
No, you want to get them involved right away so that they have some reason to want to be there. I don't know that this guy's coming back for session 2 after this.
Session begins after 5 minutes max. The character should appear already.
Yeah.
And introduce himself.
He wanders into the room. They find him unconscious in the room with all the chests. There's a million ways to introduce him. It didn't have to wait this long. And the next sentence, it has been 3 hours and 40 minutes. And he looks at me and says,
I feel bad about this, but we are at the stop mark. We'll make sure to get you in next time. They will make sure.
Yeah, he says, I am at my limit. I have packed my things. And he starts describing the party discovering my body. See, there's a percentile chance the resurrection could go poorly. It's the literal first option from before. So basically, after even making him wait the entire session, he goes back to the, introducing his half-dead body on the brink of death.
Why couldn't he do it at the beginning of the session? Why couldn't he do it?
He could have. He just didn't. So now there's a percentile chance that the resurrection could go poorly, and he could never get to play this character at all, right? So I have actively stopped listening and am making my way out. He calls after me to apologize about the pace, that the group can sometimes take time, and he hopes to see me next week. It is a poor shepherd who blames the flock. He's not wrong. That's true. He blames the group for his inability to introduce a new character.
He forgot about him and what had happened. How could he just make the guys stay over there for 3.5 hours? Just
the whole
listening
session.
to them. This is horrible. Worse than sloppy session 0 where nothing happens. It's even much worse than that. I would be gone after an hour, I guess. I would say, well, you know what? I see where it's coming. This is not a nice group management.
No, bad group management.
Yes, you do not do that to your players. And as the matter of fact, I wanted to say that if you don't want to be, to our viewers, if you don't want to be in any situation like that, you can definitely join my game, for example, following the link in the description, which will get you straight to my profile, and you can join a nice game without this shit.
Our next RPG horror story comes from Dongle00. Player refuses to join the party because my character wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be good.
Classics. So, a long time ago, I was running a game of D&D 5e and one of my players, let's call him a dwarf, wanted to play a dwarf blacksmith and former soldier who hates war and now lives in a quiet small village. He also said he wanted to be introduced last. I had no problems with it, so we started session 0. Within the first 10 minutes of the session, most of the party had formed, because they were being chased by the BBEG. Eventually, they got to Dwarf's village, and I introduced his character by saying,
An aged dwarf blacksmith walks by carrying coals.
He immediately interjected with,
Actually, blacksmiths use charcoal, not coal.
Okay, we are correcting DM already, 10 minutes after session began. He would do this every time I made a mistake describing blacksmithing.
Actually, you don't forge steel like that. Actually, there wouldn't be swords in this village.
Oh, wouldn't there? No, DM said they would be swords in that village. So there would be swords in that village.
Yes. Yeah.
So many corrections. We are doing collaborative storytelling or what? Or history lesson.
Instead of calling him dwarf, he should have called him actually.
I'm actually guy, yeah. So, after 10 minutes of that, the party asked him to join. And he refused, saying,
Actually, it wouldn't make sense that my character would join a group of random people in a fight. You need to convince me, or I'm not going.
well, that's how it should be then.
Now the DM is justified in making him sit out the whole session.
Yeah, where is this chair? How did he call this chair?
The hotel chair. Give him the
the
hotel
special
chair.
boy chair.
Special
Hotel
boy chair. Yeah.
Yeah, bring
he
the
gets
chair,
the
guys.
special actually boy chair.
Anyway, this went on for 20 minutes, with the players trying to convince him to go, and he kept refusing. Finally, I just said,
Look, I know it's not super realistic, but it's an effing game that you said you wanted to join. So are you just gonna sit on the side while everybody else plays?
he ended up joining and justified it because of one of the PCs reminded him of his dead son. But then he said,
I then take him under my wing and spend the whole winter teaching him how to blacksmith.
who is he to... the play character?
Yeah,
Or
now
his
he's...
dead son?
No, the character who mentioned his dead son, that reminded him of his dead son. So now he's taking him under his wing. He's adopted this other person's character as his sidekick, I guess.
As his pet? For
His
the-
pet.
Familiar?
His pet apprentice blacksmith.
What does this guy think of himself? Yeah, I wonder what this play character thought about this brilliant idea.
He doesn't get a vote on what this guy does with his character. He's just a secondary character. He's not the main character.
You were not allowed to speak. Nobody asked you any questions, my apprentice.
If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
I'll lend it to you. I stopped him there and reminded him that the BBEG is on his way and you don't have time to teach people shit.
But then how is my character gonna bond with anyone? You need to learn writing, bro!
The rest of players said they didn't want to do all that and wanted to get on with the main quest, so he relented and we continued on with the rest of the session and ended up by entering the first dungeon. And the kicker is that 2 weeks later he got into Rick and Morty, and by the time of the next session he retroactively changed his character into Dwarf Rick and kept trying to do that voice while shouting,
Wubba lubba dubba dubba dub?
I don't do Rick and Morty. What? Wubba lubba dubba dub. Wubba lubba dubba dub dub dub. I don't know what that, I don't know what that means. At every chance he got.
It is very rare when players can bond to each other from the first session. It takes them like 5 sessions. Usually.
Yeah, it does, but I think most players just go along. I mean, that's part of session 0 is like, you don't all have to have the same reason for doing this campaign, but you have to have a reason to join this campaign. And if you're just going to force people to spend their entire session convincing you to join, then sit it out, because that should have already been decided. This guy clearly wanted to be the main character. He's telling the DM, correcting the DM on how he's doing things. Nobody cares what the exact correct method of smithing is. Nobody cares. Except him.
Coles.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be adopting other people's character and telling them what they can do and what they can say. He doesn't tell the DM what's available in the town that the DM created. None of that is okay. This is a bad player.